Hi guys and welcome to Career Mode Season 2. We're Episode 1 of course, with Mercedes this time in Melbourne of course. So my objective is to finish first after a good qualifying session which ended in first position, which is absolutely awesome. Now my teammate is Michael Schumacher and I'm already up 1-0. After qualifying, of course. I'm going to go with normal fuel strategy, and I'm going to pit lap 7 for the prime tires. And had sun all weekend. Michael is set in 5th, and I'm gonna go 1-1 wings, just the usual thing. If you watched Season 1, you already know that setup. But my main goal today is trying to avoid penalties, as I suffered from that last season here in Melbourne. I was dropped from in the points to 22nd, I think. But yeah, looks like we're ready. And, not driving the Toro Rosso this year. Lewis Hamilton is set in 2nd for the start of the Australian Grand Prix, and we're out. Looks like we had some first corner problems. Just gotta remember that the car is full of fuel. I don't want to push too hard on the first lap. We got 3 seconds to Lewis Hamilton right now. Michael Schumacher is sat in 3rd. Can we see a double Mercedes podium? Is that possible? Touching the grass just a little bit and spinning for whatever reason. What was that all about? All of a sudden it just sent me out in a spin. Look at that. All the way. All of a sudden, the rear just stepped out. Look at that. Okay, so we'll use a flashback for that. Probably a glitch or something. There you go. Did exactly the same thing. Oh well. I guess we're good now then. Now, Sector 3 is my worst sector on this track. That's where the cars will catch me the most. Now, Sector 1 is very quick, according to qualifying at least. And Sector 2 is just a 10th or so faster. And Sector 3 is like it's half a second down, which is dangerous, of course. Almost up to 3 seconds once again to Lewis Hamilton. but he better close in this sector. I just not got the sector yet. I just can't seem to get it right. But looks like I do have a little bit of time to spare to Lewis Hamilton. It's almost 3 seconds still, so he's probably been fighting. Now, have I increased the gap? Or is Lewis too fast for me? I have increased. So I'll keep on pushing, trying to keep that gap as it is. Now these races where I start in pole position ain't the most interesting to watch, I do know that. But they're definitely fun to drive. And looks like Lewis has lost even more. That was almost a second, wasn't it? Or half a second maybe. But hopefully I can entertain you with my voice if you're not happy with what you're seeing. A lot of oversteer through that final corner.
Hamilton should be due to pit within the next 2 laps.
Got 3.1, so I've lost 0.4 seconds, I think, or 0.5 maybe. Looks like Hamilton is breaking slightly free from the pack. Yep, he got 1.5 seconds down to Michael. Ooh, letting that rear wheel tap the grass a little bit. And we got a collision in sector 1 with yellow flags. Up to 3.5 on Lewis. Definitely lost a lot of time now in sector 3. But as long as Lewis is out of my DRS zone, I'm gonna be pretty happy. Got 2.6 now. Maybe I should go to the standard mix and save a little bit of the rich mix until cars are starting to get into the pits. No way, that's just no, I'm not gonna go to the standard, as the cars will start pitting from the next lap, and I'm pretty fast according to the time gaps I get. And Michael is dropping from Lewis, letting Lewis slide away to have that gap. But the Mercedes car is pretty good. It's not dominant, but it's good enough to get a couple of race wins. So it's just as I like it. I don't want to be dominant with the Ferrari, Red Bull, and McLaren. Ooh, feeling the rear start to step away, but I don't want to be dominant, as I said. I want to be competitive. And it's a big difference between being dominant and competitive. If I feel like I'm getting the wins too easy, then it's not fun at all. But if I have to fight for my wins and do get those second and third places, that's when it's really fun. But if I'm like outside the points every single race, that's not fun. You get my point? It's like, I don't want to win all the time, but sometimes it's great to win.
You currently have a 3-second gap between you and the
Ooh,
car
got a lot of curse for the start-finish straight now. Going a little bit wide. In this corner as well. I don't think I gained any time. Now some cars might go into the pits this lap. Apparently not Hamilton, but Michael is going in. Oh, that cost me a lot of time. And Lewis is just up my gearbox now. Only 1 second down to Lewis. So I'm increasing still to Lewis, and I'm going to go with mix 2. Going to the lean mixture for the pit lane, and hopefully Hamilton and Webber won't jump me in the pits. No, Hamilton jumped me. Oh no, got a 5-second pit stop. They were just slightly quicker, which forced me. Gonna use just some curse. Wow, Hamilton is really slow here. Gonna go around his outside, and now he's fighting back. Going to just a tap of the rich Mick. Braking nice and early with cold prime tires. I'm gonna save a little bit of my fuel until I start struggle. When Lewis will have DRS, that's when I'm gonna use most of my rich mix. But if I do get a little bit of a gap to Lewis, I will definitely go up to the rich mix and not let him catch me again. And that was all the way up my rear wing. Now, since the McLarens have such high mechanical grip, they got a huge advantage on this track. Now is the time to go to the rich mix and not letting Lewis run past me. very quick through the first two corners, and Lewis will have DRS, and I think I'm gonna try to create a gap now. Lewis had DRS, which allowed him to go up my rear wing again, and he's dropping back a little bit. 0.8. Looks like I have a fair gap to Lewis now. I'm not gonna let him get that DRS. Now I'm looking forward to the next race in Malaysia. That's gonna be interesting, as I've started to like Malaysia for the last couple of races I raced there with ARL. As long as it's not rain, of course. You guys know that my strongest side is not the rain.
You have a 2 second
2 seconds.
We need to keep it clean so he doesn't get a chance to overtake.
Now Lewis is dropping back. Doesn't look like he's willing to fight for the position right now, so I will go to the standard and going a little bit wide in that first corner of this chicane, but catching it nicely. Can't even see him now. Now we can see Lewis, and Michael has caught up to Lewis now. Lewis has caught me a little bit.
We think the car behind is running on 4 revs. He's trying to close the gap.
And he has flicked to the rich mix, Lewis Hamilton.
Watch out for the car behind.
Still got
He's
2 seconds.
down on you. He might try and overtake if you make a mistake.
Gained half a second only on the last sector. That's looking good, especially if Lewis is on the rich mix, and I'm on the standard, obviously. And he's dropping further back, and Michael is 0.6 behind Lewis. Can we have a 1-2 Mercedes finish for the first race? Now the gap is a little bit longer, and someone's been in the pits. I can't see who that is. And we still got 2 seconds to Hamilton, but didn't gain a lot of time through those first corners. Corners 1 and 2. We're on lap 12 out of 15, so we're starting to get to the finish line very soon. Ooh, touching the grass under braking, but managed to catch that one. Lap 13 out of 15. Got 0.6 to Lewis Hamilton. Michael Schumacher. 0.7 behind Lewis. Can we get pole and the race win of the first race for Mercedes, and going very wide? And Lewis probably will have DRS this lap around. As I mentioned earlier, Sector 3 is the slowest sector of mine.
Watch out for the car chasing you. He's less than a second behind and will use DRS to overtake.
Look how close he is. He's 0.8 behind me. And a horrible exit as well.
Michael's the fastest man on the track.
Managed to defend that position nicely from Lewis. But will Michael be able to overtake Lewis, is the question. Or will I make a mistake which will allow Lewis to go through? Almost losing the rear end. I feel like Lewis is pushing me very hard right now. Gonna use the rest of my curse. I don't think Lewis is quick enough to actually go around me. A little bit better exit, but Lewis has a great exit as well, and I'm using all the curse I have available and going really wide, and losing that position to Michael as well. Better get that position back. Going around the outside of Michael.
We're on the same team.
On the last lap. Oh no, I don't want to risk it not having enough fuel. But that is absolutely sad. To be able to hold first place for the whole race from start to finish. And then comes Lewis Hamilton just snatching that race win in front of my eyes. And De La Rosa is not doing me a favor right here. And Lewis is taking the race win. But second place, double Mercedes on the podium for the first race. I'm pretty happy with that, I must say that. Michael Schumacher finishing third. I'm second.
Great race, just fantastic. 18 points.
18 points for me, 15 for Michael Schumacher, and 25 for Lewis Hamilton. Looks like Lewis Hamilton is going to be my main competitor this season. As the two Red Bulls are still pretty strong. The Williams drivers are actually higher than I expected. Felipe Massa outracing Fernando Alonso. Kobayashi did not finish. Cody Kane and De La Rosa was lapped. Doesn't look like the HRT cars have made any improvements. But Force India is actually worse than I thought. And Caterham is doing good, I must say. Kovalainen almost finishing in the points. But now for the constructors, Mercedes.
Second in the Drivers' Championship.
Yes, I'm second in the Drivers' Championship, but there you go. Mercedes is leading this Constructors' Championship by 2 points over McLaren. And then we got 11 points down to Red Bull. And 21 down to Williams. So it looks like the top 3 teams are Mercedes, McLaren, and Red Bull. Now this is going to be an interesting season, so it's just to stay tuned. And hopefully you guys will stay tuned for Malaysia next week. And I'm going to leave you guys here, and I'll see you in Malaysia. Goodbye.